Lenawee Sports is on the ice tonight in Bulldog Country as the men of Adrian, undefeated at home this season, look to keep their winning ways alive as they host the Forresters of Lake Forest. It's hockey night in Adrian as Lenawee Sports coverage of NCAA hockey starts right now, only on LSN.
Davis bounced it off his head, and I don't think that was an accident.
We've got a tie atop the LCAA standings.
Count that baby in a foul.
The first time they've been there in 61 years. Morency is going to the Breslin Center.
And I think this is pretty much over.
Blissfield Royals, district champions.
Lenawee Sports and the NCAA proudly presents Adrian College Hockey. Coming off their win against Utica, the Bulldogs are looking to stay atop the Northern Collegiate Conference as they face off against Lake Forest. And as always, it's all part of the season-long race to our national championship. Good evening, friends. I'm Darian Pitcher alongside my partner, Nick Rizzo. Nick, Adrian College 3-game winning streak coming into today. They dropped 3 for the first time in their school history before this streak. What's going to be important today against Lake Forest?
I think a strong offense tonight and some strong goaltending by Kevin Etma is going to be important tonight to win the game.
And always Matt Thompson and his line, tremendous point producers. Lake Forest had a 4.5-hour drive coming in. They got in late last night. How much of a morale is it for a team traveling like Lake Forest that distance, and as well for Adrian College coming on this 3-game win streak?
I think that for Lake Forest, it's going to be kind of hard if they're tired, to get into the speed of the game. Based on their warm-up, looks like they're going pretty fast. And for us, in terms of our morale, coming off a 3-game win streak, like Coach Krug said, looking pretty promising tonight.
And as always, 4.5-hour bus ride, not very comforting. Stay in a hotel. It's always kind of different when you make these long trips, especially against number 4 in the country. So we have a lot to look forward to in tonight's game.
We'll be back after this. You're watching Adrian College Hockey only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Down here with head coach Adam Krug for Adrian College. Coach Krug, you guys hit a rough patch here on Christmas break. Dropped 3, came back, won 3 straight. You were just telling me you have the toughest schedule in the country right now. So what was it like for that team in the down spot, losing 3 straight, coming back, winning 3 in a row?
Well, it's always hard. We're a program that doesn't lose very often. To lose 3 in a row, sometimes we don't lose 3 in a season. So, it was certainly hard. It's, I think, easy for the guys to really get off track and get down on themselves. But I think at the end of the day, we did a really good job taking that 3rd loss and kind of trying to flip the script a little bit and try to take some positives out of it, but also more than anything, get back to basics and start coaching more as coaches, not just throw a game plan out there and think the game plan's going to win. But we had to definitely just tweak some things, and credit to the players. They did a really good job. Buying in and getting us out of the rut we were in. Played a couple of ranked teams out of the slump. We really responded well, and credit to the guys.
And one of those players has been huge is Kevin Etma. You have 3 very talented goalies on this roster. Etma's kind of won the position. Talk about how he's had success this season.
Sure, yeah. 3 very good goalies. Kevin's the one with the most experience. As a freshman, he ended up winning the job, headed into the playoffs and in the NCAA tournament run. And then, as a sophomore, he didn't really have anybody to push him. Dylan Kelly was still kind of getting better every day and wasn't quite to the level where he could push Kevin. And now we're at the point where Dylan's pushing Kevin every day in practice. Dylan's got, I think, 5 or 6 starts under his belt this season. He's played well, and you know what? He might even be a guy that you could argue deserves to be the guy right now. And then a freshman, Nikita Babintsev, he's done a really good job, kind of being that third guy, but also when his number gets called, he's answered the bell for the most part. So you got 3 really good goaltenders in there, but Kevin's the guy that's been through it. He's got the experience and unbelievable tools. He's been what we need him to be, especially coming out of a slump like that. The last 3 games, he's been very good.
And then you got Lake Forest at home here tonight with a weekend series. You got Lake Forest and Aurora. Talk about how big this weekend series is, knowing you got St. Norbert coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, they're huge. We're in a divisional play now within our conference, so these games are really 4-point games. If you lose, you're not the 4 points up that you want to be. So you got to win these. We've had success against Lake Forest in the past. Tomorrow night we've got Aurora University coming to town, another team that plays hard every night, and Lake Forest is going to do the same. They're going to play very hard, and if we go out and play our game and play to our strengths, we'll be fine. But they're also the kind of team that has enough ability to sneak up on you if you're not prepared. So we prepared really well this week, and we're excited about the game tonight, and playing on home ice is always fun too.
We'll be back with the anthem and the opening face-off after this. You're watching Adrian College Hockey only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
You're doing great. We're going to try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
The odds of becoming a successful NASCAR driver, 1 in 125 billion. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. HSF.net.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
And now, the starters for your Adrian College Bulldogs. In goal, a junior, wearing number 35, the pride of Milton, Ontario, Kevin Ekma. On the net for your Bulldogs, a junior, number 19, from St. Thomas, Ontario, Braden Elm. Also on the net for Adrian, junior, number 44, from Frenton, Michigan, Corey Dunn. And forward, a sophomore, number 41, from Calgary, Alberta, Vincent Paquette. Also forward here, Bulldogs, a senior, number 10, from Bolton, Ontario, Matt Thompson. And as a final forward positioning, junior, number 40, from Farmington, Michigan, Brian Yim.
And now it's time for some hockey. And we are underway.
Lake Forest seems to have won the draw, going right into Adrian's zone.
Puck's going to go to Kevin Entma, the starting goalie.
Drops it along the boards. Adrian gets possession, moving out of the zone.
Puck goes to Helms. Helms has it at the red line, goes back. Paquette trying to get it.
Penalty coming up to Adrian for tripping at the blue line.
That was O'Neill putting the pressure on Paquette, trying to skate into the zone, and Paquette had no other option but to trip him up. We're going to get an early power play opportunity for the Foresters.
Draw comes out to the left of Kevin Entma. Lake Forest seems to have won the draw, takes it back to the end of the zone.
Puck goes into the corner.
Fought for. Adrian comes up with possession, dumps it in.
Your play-by-play. Puck goes behind the net. Looking for an early shot opportunity. All the way down to the right corner. Puck is met back out to the blue line. Blue line to blue line pass goes over to Demulian. He sends it down. Chip shot attempt goes wide. We got bodies on the floor, 1 minute remaining in the power play. Puck goes out into the neutral zone. Foresters forced to retreat. Big check put on by McCloy. Puck goes down to Dunn. So now there's 35 seconds left in the Forester power play. Puck goes out near the blue line. There's a shot put on, blocked by Cam Cooper. Puck goes down around the boards. All the way out to the blue line where it is played on by O'Neill. O'Neill sends it over to Cross. There's a shot attempt. Gloved away by Entma. Puck ricochets out near the corner. And the puck is cleared. We have a whistle.
Doesn't seem to be a penalty. No delay of game coming.
So that's like what you're doing in the beginning is play that way?
So am I not doing that?
No.
Oh, okay.
So like keeping the
Okay.
So now we're back to full strength hockey as Paquette comes out of the box. Puck goes up for Mattson on the left side.
I really like the way Lake Forest is hustling out there tonight. They're making the Adrian team look like they got a little bit of a slow start.
This Mattson goes around Entma. Due to that power play, they spent a lot of time over here in the Bulldog zone. Here comes a good look for post. And it goes wide. Not very much action on the other end for Luis Felipe de Corsi, the goalie in net for the Foresters.
That could be a good thing or a bad thing, you know. If he doesn't get a good first period with the shots in, you know, second, third period comes along, he could be a little tired, you know, not woken up, not ready. And it's, you know, he might not make some saves he needs to.
And that's something I've always wondered about, too. You watch from the booth, and Adrian does typically a good job of putting the offensive pressure on to where their goalie doesn't see much action. Then to get later on in the game, he hasn't seen much pucks going in front, hasn't had much action in front of him. You kind of wonder how much he's stayed in it mentally from that aspect as well. Here come the Foresters. There's a shot, goes wide of Entma.
Entma couldn't really see that there. He had a little bit of a screen of his own defenseman.
Here comes Kuzin, brings it in, sends a shot.
That was a good glove save on the left side for Lake Forest goalie. Coming off of this long journey they had from Chicago all the way here, people thought they were going to be a little bit tired. They don't look like it.
That was a 4 hour and 20 minute plus drive from Illinois for the Forresters. They got in last night, stayed in a hotel locally in Adrian, and got ready for their day here at Arrington Ice Arena with this Bulldog team.
They're looking pretty good. They're not looking as tired as thought they would be coming off that hard road trip.
There's a pass. Looked like it was intended for McNair from Brothers. Scoots all the way through. And DeCourcy.
It was a good move trying to pass it across the slot, get the short-sided goal, but didn't pick it up.
So we'll have a face-off to the right side of DeCourcy. Brothers skates in. He'll meet up with O'Neill, and O'Neill gets the best of Thompson in this face-off. Thompson quickly regains possession of the puck, tries to make a pass. He's tripped up, and we have a delayed penalty here for the Forresters. Entma gets to the bench.
That's going to put Adrian on the power play, which they are 16 of 69 on. So nothing spectacular on that power play, but
so the power play unit will get this first opportunity.
Lake Forest's penalty kill is 52-59 this year. That's pretty good. I don't know what that puts them at the league, but that puts a really good number out for them.
And here they go, short-handed. Poked away by Dunn.
Almost had a chance there coming out of the circle. Dangled around the defenseman and moved in.
So here comes Thompson. He's joined by Helms brothers, McCoy, and Dunn.
Helms missed pass. It looked like he went a little bit left.
Puck goes up into the netting. We'll have a face-off coming up. This one's going to be glove side of DeCourcy. DeCourcy, the 6'4 junior.
Every face-off this game so far, Adrian's been trying to take the backhand wins. You know, that's something that could be really useful if you get it to your defenseman, get a hard, fast shot out. Goalie's not ready off the draw, and, you know, you get something good there. That hasn't really been the case. Lake Forest has been really dominating the face-offs.
And out of that face-off, they had another short-handed attempt.
Yeah, they went real deep into the zone.
Very aggressive on the penalty kill.
You know, that's what makes them, I think, their penalty kill one of the best so far. I think it's just, they're really aggressive, and they just pound the defenseman on the end of the zone, just, you know, block shots just like that one. And, you know, they keep them to the outside, can't really see, can't get anything good in.
Lake Forest comes in at 8-7 on the season, right around 500. But special teams plays like that is something that can really give you a couple extra wins in those games that are decided by a goal. You know, stuff like that really comes out bigger than what shows on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You know, penalties play a big part in the game. You know, you take a lot, you give up some goals, and you might not get them back. So having a good PK is really, really a strong asset this team has, which Adrian needs to find a way to get around.
Dunn passes it down. There's a centering pass for McCloy.
Great sliding save.
Down into the corner, Brothers skates it out, passes over to Helms, over to Dunn at the blue line. Fakes a shot, sends it down. Try to center it again. Seems to be the point of attack for Coach Adam Krug and his special teams unit.
You know, Coach Krug is really looking to get something good in the slot going for his power play. Hasn't really worked too far. A lot of people blocking shots off Lake Forest, and it's really given them some difficulty. But he's doing the right things, and I think that he keeps up, you know, and with a little bit of luck, Lake Forest will let them, you know, get something good in on the net.
Thompson out of the faceoff, gets it back to Helms near the blue line. 10 seconds remains in the Bulldog power play. Both teams having a chance with a man advantage, and neither successful as Corey Dunn, broadcaster jinx, there it is.
Exactly what Coach Krug wanted him to do. Right from the slot, took a clapper, and went right in, right over the right or left pad.
So Corey Dunn gets the Bulldogs on the board first. With 13:33 to play here in the opening period.
I think there was a little bit of question coming into tonight, first game back from the holiday break, if the Adrian Bulldogs would be able to keep up with the pace.
And as we mentioned pregame, they had a 3-game losing skid, and they look to be coming out strong. Here come the Forresters. The puck is frozen. We'll have another face-off. It's going to come all the way back into the neutral zone.
It seems that every time Adrian scores first goal, they seem to come out with a lot more effort later in the game, as their record when they score the first goal was 6-0. So that could be a big impact on the rest of this game tonight.
And always want to get on the board first. That's something very obvious for this game. You get a lot of momentum for your team. And it shows statistically. You just mentioned Adrian 6-0 when they score first.
Yeah, and Lake Forest when they are down one, first when they don't get the first one in, they're down 3 games. They lose. That's a big deal. It puts morale in your players' head, and it really could mess with them for the rest of the game. Especially at the pace of this game so far. You get one in. It's a hard thing to play catch up.
And typically, Nick, we've seen a lot of Adrian College hockey over our time here at Adrian College. And you know that once Adrian puts that first one in the net, the offensive pressure and pressure overall, both offensive and defensive, they ramp it up a notch.
Yeah.
Now that they have the comfort of a 1-goal lead, and there's another shot, finds the stomach of DeCurry.
Comfort, 1-goal lead is a huge thing in an early part of a hockey game. You finish the first period. It's all about winning periods. You win the first period, you get the first goal in. You're walking into the second period, ready to go. You've got all the momentum. So we just got to hope that Adrian holds out and their defense holds together and they keep some stuff out of the net.
So we line up to the right side of DeCurry. DeCourcy, rather. And Lake Forest with another face-off win. And here they come up the right side. Pucks finds its way over to Clearman. Big shot put on by Cooper at the red line. And there's the physicality getting ramped up as well with the pressure.
That's another thing that could prove to be a very big factor in tonight's game, with Lake Forest being possibly tired from their drive-in last night and their stay here. If the game gets too physical, they're gonna start giving up shots, goals, and it's gonna take a toll on them.
We have yet another penalty early on. It's going to be assessed to Lake Forest.
To 13 Quinton Wonder for cross-checking.
So the power play unit back on the ice.
We're going to, I think, it looks like Coach Krug is doing the same thing here with his, get it to the defenseman, right to the slot, and try and get one in. Worked last, so we can only hope it works again.
Forrester struggling to get out of the zone. We have a penalty coming up.
Another one going for. Yep, there we go.
Cameron Cooper not happy with the call as he skates over to the penalty box. That's something that comes up huge too, timing of penalties.
Yeah, especially right now with the penalty only being about 40 seconds in. 4-on-4 hockey for a minute and a half is it's big. There's a lot of open ice. You can make a lot of things happen with one less person.
You take away the power play opportunity for the Bulldogs. Yep. Kind of a break for Lake Forest, as they're going to get an opportunity to go on a brief power play after their penalty expires.
And so far, based off their play in the offensive zone, it looks like that might be something that we should look out for.
Lake Forest skating it out of the zone, gets up to center ice where Corey Dunn will take it from there. Passes off to Helms.
Smart choice there to resist the D-to-D pass and go right behind the net and just rally it. You're wasting running the clock down.
Just under 11 minutes to play here in the first. Corey Dunn got us on the board with a goal. And that's where we stand 1-0. Well, it's been almost an equal game,
Yeah, I'd say, the first, minute or two was really, Lake Forest was pushing really hard, and then Adrian, once they got their feet wet, their skates ready, they got back to their normal speed, and, it's been a pretty high-paced game. Really, I don't think there was anything, huge in terms of flaws for Lake Forest on that first goal against them. It was just, you pound them with shots, sooner or later the goalie's going to let something in. So I think it's a very high-paced game, and it could go either way.
D-to-D passes. They'll finally move it up and chip it in off the stick of Aaron O'Neill. Down in the corner, Bud Madej putting on pressure. Puck is cleared by the Bulldogs, and now we have a power play for the Forresters for 23 more seconds. They're looking to equal things up on the scoreboard. Find the back of the net on Kevin Entma, who's been very strong. And
another beautiful save.
Finds his stomach.
No, he's been pretty remarkable, his saves this year. He's shooting at 181 out of 194. That puts him at a .933 save percentage this year. For a junior in goal, that's a huge asset to the Adrian team. Coach Krug said before the game there's a huge question of whether he should be in or the other goalies. I really think that Kevin Entma, based on his numbers, has really proven his worth, especially as a junior. He's worked his way up the totem pole, and I think he's doing pretty solid.
It's a good problem to have for Coach Krug, is he has 3 guys he can throw on any given night and be confident.
This is true, yeah. Even the freshman, Nikita Babentsev, he's a really good goalie, puts up decent numbers. Sure, there's a question of if he's ready so far with the high pace that NCAA hockey gives, but based on his play, he's proven pretty solid.
As you've seen Entma there standing strong on the post, he will freeze it with 9:23 to play. Looking like another strong start for him. We have a face-off glove side of Entma. Won by the Forresters, comes back to the blue line.
One of the things I think that really helps with this team, especially with Entma and his play, is, when the team has, they're used to him playing, so when the defense sees that he's in, they're a lot more comfortable. They know what he can do. Goalies, can change from goalie to goalie, and your defense really needs to be aware of your strengths and weaknesses. And I think that the defense on the Adrian squad is pretty aware of Kevin Entma's what he needs, what he can't get and what he can get, and I think that's a huge asset for them.
Here comes Lake Forest up the left side, pass into the middle for Kent, who skates it into the zone. Lake Forest has got it in deep, but they haven't got very many quality looks. They got 9 shots on goal, but none of them have really been quality looks.
Yeah, I think that has a lot.
Trying to put them on Entma, and
I think
hope one goes.
A lot to do so far, based on what we've seen with, they get the puck on the stick, but then they try and get a little bit fancy when they get in the zone, dangle around defensemen. And, with the Adrian squad, like we've been saying, they're really strong, so it's really hard for you to get around these big defensemen. Especially because they're fast, too. So you're going to have a hard time trying to get fancy there. Sometimes you just need to get in and get shots in the zone and just go with it. Just keep hammering and hope for something. I think that's what Lake Forest needs to do right now.
Puck went up into the netting surrounding the packed rink, Weston rink here at Adrian College.
Very high volume capacity game for the first one back after the holiday break.
It's always good to see the students coming out, lining the boards all the way around. Very few empty seats up in the stands. Good turnout here.
Definitely.
Welcoming back the Bulldogs from the break.
You can definitely tell that now that the game's starting to go on, Adrian's getting a lot more comfortable as they're moving around the zone, passing. Their passes around the stick, they're getting really good looks.
That pass was poke-checked away by Clearman all the way down for Entma. Hangs on to it before making the pass around the boards. Here's a shot for Lake Forest. Sent away by Entma. That was Sardina getting a good look there. Not enough to get past Entma. And here they come again. Here's Sardina bringing it in. Skates it around to the right side. Centering pass. Nobody home. It's going to go all the way around the boards to the blue line. Shot goes wide right of Entma. Off the stick of Feldman. There's another shot from the blue line. Can't get through the traffic out in front. And Etma's going to find this one, and he will freeze it.
One of Etma's best, his most favorable things, is he's very fast, getting post to post, and getting down into the butterfly to make those 5-hole saves. The perfect example was right there, shot from the point, a little bit of a screen, and he just grabbed it. Sometimes you got to make those leaps, and he's very good at it. So
we have a timeout here called by Adrian College. We'll be back after this. You're watching Adrian College hockey only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
And we're back out of the timeout. I'm Darian Pitcher alongside my partner, Nick Rizzo. Face-off one, and there's a good shot attempt from McCloy, who just can't get it past DeCourcy.
I don't know what Coach Krug said in that timeout, but whatever he said seems to have put some fire underneath Adrian. They're coming out real fast, faster than they were, which is surprising because I didn't really think they were doing too bad. I'd say it was they were putting in pretty solid effort, but whatever he said, brought him to a new level.
Here comes Brothers on the left side. He tries to pass it into McNair. Taken away by Godorsey. He will send it down. Fresh skaters on for Forresters. It's Helms looks to get something set up.
Brilliant move by Helms. He deked the other forward, the forechecking forward from Lake Forest to the right, and he just went left. Lake Forest's forward had no idea that he even went that way.
Puck goes back into the neutral zone. Cooper will send it in off the shins of Cross. Puck will circle the boards, go back for DeCourcy. Lake Forest up the left side. That's Oxoy making the push. He dumps it in. A lot of dump and chase from Lake Forest out of the timeout. Here's a look, and Entma's there. Beautiful save.
Glove save.
There's Kevin Entma at his best right there. Turnover creates a good look for the Foresters.
Turnover right in the slot.
And Entma's there.
Tried to corner pick, and Entma grabbed it.
Save like that makes your team number 4 in the country.
It goes back to what I was saying earlier. When you know your goalie, it gives you a certain level of confidence that, this team it clearly has, being number 4 in the country.
Post chips it off the boards into the zone. Here's Bagnac giving good chase. Just can't quite beat out Meade for the Foresters.
Strong forechecking from Adrian, though. Definitely puts on the pressure to the defense, lets them make mistakes. They can't get it in the zone, and next thing you know, you're coming down.
Pass goes up for Bagnac. He takes a big shot into the boards, and Bagnac, usually one of the heavy hitters on Adrian, taking a little bit of his own medicine there.
Oh, there we go.
Center ice, there's Matson. He puts a big shot on in the corner on Feldman. And look at that.
Wow.
Off the skate of Luke Meade.
Goes into Lake Forest.
And it beats DeCourcy. And that'll put Adrian up 2-0 with 4:59 in the first.
That's another advantage to a good forecheck. You make your defenseman, you force the defenseman to make some mistakes like that. You're going to make some error passes and could end up like it just did, going into your own net. Nothing you can do about that as a defenseman.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
And that's what happened there for Adrian, as they now have a 2-goal lead on Lake Forest.
Strong play this period by Adrian. Like I said, the beginning minutes was a little bit slower, but once they got their pace set, it's been all good so far.
So now if you're Lake Forest, you find yourself down 2-0 with 5 minutes to play. 5 minutes is plenty enough time to try to put one in the back of the net going into intermission. And that's your goal right now, is just find the back of the net once, make it a 1-goal advantage for Adrian going into the locker room.
If you can cut it in half, it's just a 1-goal game again. Puts them right back where they've been for the last about 10 minutes. Something they really need to look for.
There's a shot blocked by Cooper. Ricochets out to Thompson. He's going to send it in to the neutral zone. Puck goes way up over the head of Entma. Here we go, long pass, Boyd giving chase, and it will be frozen by DeCourcy. 4:02 left here in the opening period.
Sometimes a stop is what you need, and that's what Lake Forest needed right there. They've been running around a little bit. Stop could really help you just catch your breath and get a face-off and, move from there.
Here's Kolatarski out of the face-off. Dumps it into the corner. Played on by Wander. Puck squirts away into the neutral zone. Balsamo all the way back. Sends it up for Kuzin. And the puck checks up into the Bulldog bench. We'll have a neutral zone face-off. 3:46 to play.
2-0 lead for Adrian is huge going into this locker room. Again, as we've said, there's been question about what they would be like coming off the break. It's really looking good. They really could use this 2-0 lead to their advantage, and if they just keep doing what they're doing and what they've been doing so far, it'll end up good for them.
As Coach Krug mentioned in the pregame, start of conference play, you always want to get that first one under your belt. Get a good start.
Especially
for the season.
A couple weeks from now, they're playing St. Norbert, so they need all the points they can get. A couple wins, never hurts.
Puck goes into the corner. Madej plays it along for Hewins.
Coach Krug said in the pregame that they came off the 3-game losing and then winning streak. This team, watching them, there's no question of their confidence with each other. And usually a losing streak, especially one where Adrian had never lost that many in the program's history, such a losing streak could really hamper on your confidence with one another and let you get slacking in practice. You don't skate as hard. It could really mess you up as a team. And I like to say that Adrian really hasn't let that happen.
And for Coach Krug, there's no better way to respond to a 3-game losing streak by matching it with a 3-game win streak.
Yep. They keep playing like this, it might be a 4-game win.
Puck goes down around the boards.
Lots of pressure from Adrian on the defenseman for Lake Forest. Great example of why forechecking is much needed.
Pass finds its way over to Brothers. Just got through Sardina.
Loves it down, and we get a hand pass.
So with that, we'll have a face-off down to the right side of DeCourcy. The referees weren't ready for that face-off, so we'll line it up and try it again.
Adrian's really turned around on their face-offs. Beginning of the game, they were losing here and there, and now they're really coming out dominant on the face-offs. Their centers just tend to take it to the backhand and with the back to the defenseman, and it's working pretty well. I think Lake Forest needs an adjustment made to their centers and the way they take their draws if they want to keep it in, get it out of their zone and move.
There's a turnover back neck. Tried to make a move, got poke checked away at the last second by Oxoy. He had a man to his left. Very fortunate they poke checked that away when they did. There's another good look. Ricochets out. Matson tries to find it, gets tangled up in his skates.
So this is a great example of why hard work is needed when you're on a long shift like that. That line was out for, probably about 35, 40 seconds, which is a long shift. And, they didn't let the tiredness get to them. They kept working hard, and they got some good looks on the net.
And there goes Thompson. He had a good look. Sent away by DeCourcy. Lake Forest skates away into the neutral zone. They get as far as the red line. And that's where they are stopped. Dump and chase now for Adrian as we are on the south side of the 1 minute mark.
And with 1 minute left in the period, I think Lake Forest needs to start thinking about what adjustments they can make in their coaching staff and their players for the next period to try and break this lead down. That could be huge. That's going to be huge for them. What their play is like in the next period.
There's a look for Yim. Yim, tremendous goal scorer last year. He comes through again. Tremendous stick handling right in front of DeCourcy.
You know, he deked around the goalie a little bit, forced him to go one way, went right over his shoulder the other. You know, he made that look easy, if I'm being honest.
Brian Yim, tremendous force, the junior from Farmington, Michigan. Always puts up fantastic numbers. And there he is again. That'll give Adrian a 3-0 advantage.
And so far, Brian Yim this year has, has 5 goals in 14 games played, which is a pretty decent number. He keeps up the way he's been playing tonight, and he could add some more to that.
That's a huge goal. Coming with less than 30 seconds left before we head to the locker rooms.
Really could demean the morale of this Lake Forest team walking into the second period.
So with that, the first period comes to a close. Adrian leads 3-0. Nick, if you are the Foresters, what adjustment are you going to make here at this intermission?
I would, honestly, I'd probably try and change up the defensive pairs a little bit. Your pairs don't have to stay the same between periods, and I think that could be a huge part. If you confuse the forwards for the Adrian team, you could really, capitalize off that. Along with that, I think they need to allow their centers or talk to them about switching different ways to take the draws, because as the period went on, they kept losing these draws the same way by the Adrian centers. And losing faceoffs is a big factor of a hockey game. So I think those two things, are keys for them to win the next period.
All right, Nick, we'll look to see if Lake Forest follows up with your adjustments. We'll get your opinion on what Adrian needs to do when we come back from the break. We'll be back after this. You're watching Adrian College Hockey only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Before we get underway, we are proud to say that the Lenawee Sports Network provides local sports coverage that airs on LISD TV. Overseen by our instructors and operated by our students, LSN offers live sports broadcast experience to all high school students within the Lenawee Intermediate School District. If you would like to join the team, please email us at lisdtv@lisd.us.
And with that, we're back. Second period action here from Arrington Ice Arena on the campus of Adrian College. The Adrian College Bulldogs, Lake Forest Foresters. Round number 2 is underway. And Nick, before we got going into break, you mentioned the adjustments that we needed to see from Lake Forest to get back into this game. If you're Coach Krug, what do you tell your guys?
If I was Coach Krug, I would really just tell my team, just keep doing what you're doing, keep working hard, keep the forecheck going, get it deep, and just play smart defense. And the game is looking pretty in your favor right now. But as we mentioned, the score is 3-0 going into the second period. And going into second period, when Adrian's up, their record is 6-1. So looking pretty good for them.
Puck sent down into the corner. Entman's going to come out. He'll ship it along the boards. Dunn will circle it the other way. Looking for Yim at the blue line. Puck goes all the way down for DeCourcy.
Now, something to keep in mind this period is the period of the long change, so each team has to skate a little bit further to get their players off the bench.
There was a chip shot there.
We may start seeing tiredness come into effect this period.
Puck goes to center ice where it's sent down. Here comes Yim. He'll take it up the right side. Chips it along the boards. Thompson gains the puck back.
Great dangle
Yim
around
on his right. Here's Madej. Madej sends one in. Looked like it went off the chest of Yim. Goes into the corner.
Starting the second period, the Bulldogs are looking like they're keeping up the hard work in the zone. They're not letting anything get out easy, and they're keeping their legs pumping. So, again, I don't know what Coach Krug is saying to his team, but whatever he's doing seems to keep motivating him.
Puck goes around the boards.
Adrian just got a nice new set of defensemen in, so staying in the zone here is coming out to benefit him.
So we're just now getting word that second goal they were giving to Corey Dunn, that's his second of the game. That was the one that went off the skate of the defender and in, and Brian Yim has the third.
That puts Corey Dunn up to 19 points this season. He looks to be a pretty key player in terms of points for his team.
And that's how we got to where we are, 3-0 Bulldogs. In the second, that Brian Yim goal came very late. Hard one to take for Lake Forest. You were down 2-0. You want to go into the intermission staying at that if you can't find the back of the net. And that one got past Entma, but couldn't quite get the angle to put it in the net as it went into the corner. That was a good look for Lake Forest.
Lake Forest, a pretty good guy, placed to the left of Entma, behind him on the short side.
Puck's chipped out of the zone. Balsamo has it on the right. Cooper on the left. Pulls his shot. Goes off the shin of Madej.
That last come down for Lake Forest shows to really be what a change can do, because they were really struggling to get the Bulldogs out of their zone for the last probably about minute. So a change was really what they needed, and they came back with some pretty good effort. That was one of the best chances I've seen Lake Forest have all this game. Would you say so?
I would. There's a pass over to Corey Dunn. He sends it down. Balsamo tries to get a shot blocked into the corner. That was great defense there by Feldman. There's another chance. Look at this. The Bulldogs crashing in.
Another example of their hard work. You know, that was just 4 shots on the goal in a matter of probably about 20 seconds. And you know, they just kept working. They didn't quit. They didn't let the one bounce and give up on it. They just kept working it. So.
And DeCourcy comes out of the crease.
You know, that's
to jump on that and get a good freeze. His team was getting tired.
Yep, that's the second time now they've been kind of stranded in their zone. They can't really get out, and it's, you know, a stop is what you need during that. It could prove to be huge in terms of rest.
Out of the face-off, here come the Forresters. Bud Madej sends that around, forcing the Forresters to retreat temporarily, and there's a big save by Entma. 14:57 to play in the second period.
His glove side seems to be his stronger side. You know, they try to corner pick him, you know, go that side on him, and he just grabs it, picks up every time. Almost like it's natural to him.
Sal will have a face-off to his right. Out of the face-off, here comes McNair from Brothers. He has McCloy coming up the right side. Across the crease pass. Tremendous save by DeCourcy to get back over there and stop the shot.
Wonderful sliding save off of that almost breakaway he had. You know, before the break, we talked about adjustments Lake Forest needed to make, and I said that they really needed to try to figure out some way to break Adrian's center's forwards' dominance. And, you know, Adrian is still winning almost all of them on the backhand. And they seem to be trying some different stuff, Lake Forest, with their centers, but, still, they're struggling.
McCloy will send it down. Centering pass from Brothers. Poke checked away by Wander. Out of the zone, here come the Foresters, looking to get an opportunity. And the pass goes wide. And taken away by Bud Midday. Goes into the corner. McNair's going to skate it out of the zone, pass up to McCloy. McCloy tries to find Brothers. And that pass was deflected and forced them to be offsides. They had to go back the other way. Here's Bagnac putting on pressure.
Another example right here why the Lake Forest defense needs to get a change in, because they're looking kind of tired coming back into their zone.
And that's something that Adrian does to a lot of their opponents, is they'll put the attack on, and they'll keep that foot on the pedal, and they'll make it so that you're on your shift for so long that once you finally clear the puck, you're not looking to score, you're looking to change.
Yeah, and especially in the second period when you're on that offside, it's really hard to get the change in because you have to skate the extra, and you don't want to abandon your team, So I think Lake Forest really needs to try to figure out a way to cycle their forwards. I think Adrian does a great job of that. They cycle their forwards back to defense when their defense needs to change, and they just kind of use an umbrella format for a little bit. I think Lake Forest needs to figure out a way to adopt that if they want to keep their defensemen from getting gassed for the third period.
Here's a good look for the Foresters. Shot from Clearman goes wide right. Our first time seeing the Foresters on any sort of extended attack.
They had
sent away.
They had a pretty good play set up there. They were trying to run the umbrella, and it really worked. Guys set up high, and somebody in the slot. It worked pretty solid for them. They got a couple of good chances. Nothing though off Kevin Entma. Solid goaltender he's been tonight.
Entma now has 15 saves. As we're approaching the halfway mark of period number 2. Dunn does a good job keeping it in the zone. He sends it down for Paquette. Missed him just wide. Thompson puts on a good shot on Connor Duncan in the corner. Puck's going to go all the way down to the other side and blown for icing.
It's really interesting right now. Shots are 16-15 in favor of Adrian. So close like that, you'd think this game would not be a 3-0 game. But that goes to show that it really depends on the types of shots you get and the momentum you have. With the exception of that second goal, they're pretty much they're trying to just get good shots off and capitalize off them, and it's worked so far.
And sometimes you get the lucky bounce, like you mentioned on the second goal.
And there's nothing you can really do about that as a team. You kind of just have to bite the bullet and take it. Wrong angling of the foot. There's really nothing you can do. But that could really hurt your defenseman's confidence. So that's something Lake Forest needs to look out for is their defenseman right now, especially because they're not getting a break.
It was a good look for Paquette. Yim set him up. Across the crease pass. Just missed it. DeCourcy having a very fine period number 2. Seen a lot of quality shots from this Bulldog offense. He's sent them all away thus far. Really keeping his team in the game.
And he's proving to be a pretty dynamic goalie right now with this period because Bulldog shots aren't all one-sided or, one way.
Here's a good look for the Foresters. They're going to get a penalty and a goal. Joe Sardina on the breakaway. Finds a chink in the armor for Entma, and he puts one past him to bring his team within 2.
That's Sardina's 7th goal of the season so far. He's putting up pretty solid numbers for his team. He actually that puts him at the highest for his team. Something to look out for is
that penalty is Bud Madej
for hooking. And, 2-minute penalty to Adrian, something Lake Forest is kind of going to try to capitalize on right now. Just scoring. They could run with it a little bit here.
That's something you can't ask for anything better out of that exchange. Breakaway opportunity. Draw a penalty to get the power play.
Yeah.
Not only that, but Sardina was able to finish it and get a goal out of it Now if they can capitalize on this power play, just like that, we got a 1-goal game. Here comes McNair up the right side. He has McCloy. You know, this penalty kill unit for Adrian's not going to sit back and just play defense. They spend some time on attack as well.
Yeah, and it's really going to be interesting, you know, as the period of the game goes on and more power plays and penalties are given, what the Lake Forest defense is going to be able to do about these, you know, the PK of Adrian. They're really strong PK, and you need to be able to not only break that, but, you know, beat them a little bit in order to get something good off.
Halfway through the penalty. This penalty kill doing a good job. They haven't really given up good shot opportunities.
They're trying to keep everything to the outside and behind the net. And, you know, as it goes, you keep your guys to the outside and such. You're not going to be able to get anything. Your goalie is going to make that save. You know that.
Puck comes all the way down for DeCourcy. Blue line to blue line pass. And they get nothing out of it. Puck sent around the boards to Kent. And the puck is cleared once more. Lake Forest has about time for one more attack on this power play. Balsamo putting on the pressure.
There's that forecheck again we've been talking about. You know, you forecheck your defense, they're going to start giving up stuff. Perfect example, behind the net, gave up the puck, and, you know, it cost him some time.
Sardino put a good move on Dunn. So he was entering, and here comes Madej out of the box. Puck goes into the corner. DeCourcy comes out to play it. All the way around, here comes Dadina again. He pulls another shot. Entma says not this time.
With his glove yet again. I think if Lake Forest wants to start getting some in the net, they need to find some creative ways to either screen Entma or, you know, not shoot at his goal side. He seems pretty strong there. So I think screens and slot play might be the solution.
Go for the mouthful, go for the fun. Go for.
Out of the face-off, puck goes into the corner. One-timer sent away by Entma.
Beautiful shot from the slot. You know, that's where you get a lot of your main opportunities in a hockey game, so high-paced and, you know, such good skill level like this is you let somebody be exposed for, you know, a couple seconds in the slot and you're letting a good shot up that your goalie is very open to. You know, that's kind of your defenseman's role to block those, get out of the way, get them out of the way for the goalie. And, you know, Adrian's defense is doing a pretty solid job at that, but sometimes you just, you know, you can't help it, and sometimes stuff in the slot's giving up.
Puck sent around the boards to Bud Madej at the blue line. He sends it back down for Brothers, and Brothers leaves it for McNair. Up to Madej, back to McNair. Trying to find their guy McCloy, and he got an attempt. I think Lake Forest starting to key in on that play on the power play. Well, this one wasn't even on the power play. And they're starting to kind of protect that area a little bit more.
Starting to see that, you know, Adrian's a little more creative. And yeah, their goalie's solid on all ends, but Adrian's pretty creative with the way they take their shots and win their faceoffs. That's something you got to look out for. You got a good shooter, and you need to find a way to stop them. Something to look out for, actually, is, you know, last Adrian goal scored by Brian Yim. You mentioned that he was put up pretty solid numbers his last couple seasons and whatnot. He's a pretty key forward, it sounds like, so they need to find a way to keep the puck away from him, really.
It's a big shot put on Vinny Post. Lake Forest struggling to get it out. Matson tries to make him pay. Rebound opportunity.
Left open in the slot for a little
Shot
bit.
from Dunn, blocked away. A lot of bodies out in front. Madej tries to keep it in and does. Sends it back down for Post.
You know, that's a great example of what, you know, Lake Forest needs to be able to do in front of their net. You know, people start getting down. You need to be able to get in the way and get them down. And, you know, it's perfectly okay for a defenseman to hit somebody in front of their goalie, but you need to be able to get them to the ground, especially because Adrian tends to be a bigger team. You know, their guys are not small, so something to
Here
look out
comes
for.
Yim up the right side, has Paquette on the left. diving effort to get in the passing lane from Connor Duncan.
Yeah, great effort by Duncan. You know, laying down, taking the block off Yim's shot. So I think they need to do a little bit more of that.
Dunn takes it behind Enma, looking to get something set up offensively. 20 shots apiece on goal.
Very even pace, even though the score does not seem it to be.
And you got to go back to that first period goal off the defender. I mean, it's an unlucky bounce. This is a 2-1 game.
You know, and really that you know, the way these teams are playing tonight, you know, after the first couple minutes, after everybody's been in the game for a little bit, the way it's been going, that goal off the defender might just be the difference maker tonight. So you really got to look forward, you know, look out for some way to capitalize off that and even it up a little bit.
This speaks volume to this Lake Forest team who comes in. They're actually leading shots on goal, although they're down 3-1. You can come into Arrington Ice Arena on any day of the week for any team that, you know, there's 6-7 hockey teams here on campus, and they just shoot the puck without end. We've seen one of the women's teams almost put up 100 shots in a game. We've seen them outshoot their opponents by 20, 30, 40 each and every night. And Lake Forest is going toe-to-toe with them, getting their offensive opportunities as well.
And I think that has a lot to say about their team's confidence. You know, walking into Arrington Ice Arena tonight, they're seeing that the Bulldogs, you know, have struggled a little bit in the last, you know, in the stretch before the break with their, you know, their losing streak and then coming back. I think they've been trying to push them and try and hope that they break a little bit so they can go back to their old ways and Lake Forest can kind of capitalize off that. So far tonight hasn't really been going that way, but still plenty time. It's a very long hockey game ahead of us still. So,
and we're back to the same situation as we were in the first period. Lake Forest down 2, about 5 to go. This time a little bit more momentum as they found the back of the net. Sometimes it just takes the opening goal to find the back of the net and you got things going your way.
Yeah.
You can really see morale lifted on this Lake Forest team. So if they find the back of the net one more time in this period, we're really in for an interesting third.
And sometimes a push from a strong forward, a leading forward, is something you just need. You know, that's why they're great forwards. They come in at the time you need them, and this was one of the cases that you needed. They needed something to you know, a bite, something in, just so they get a taste of it.
Big save by DeCourcy.
Grabbed it with a glove and then dropped into a butterfly with plenty of pressure coming in on the net. You know, by no means does this scoreboard reflect the talent of these two teams. They're very even keel, I'd say. Lake Forest is having some difficulty, I think, tonight, just because Adrian's pretty dominant. But they're doing pretty solid. You know, Coach Krug has not in his career lost against this team, and the way it's going tonight, I have to say, it very kind of could go either way.
Here's a shot. There's a rebound, and Balsamo is going to find the back of the net.
That was an interesting goal because the Adrian forward crashing the net prior to his shot on goal. You know, I don't know if he was tripped up or just fell, and he you know, the goalie caught a skate up in the face. So I kind of thought that should have been something along the lines of interference. He caught one in the mask and fell down. The next thing you know, he's, you know, up top's open, and I'm going to be very surprised if the refs don't meet to try and discuss this a little bit. And you know, from what I've seen, that kind of seems like a little bit of a goalie interference. I mean, you get hit in the face, you know, whether it's a skate or a puck, you're going to feel it. You're going to drop, right? You're going to protect yourself. It's only natural. There seems to be a little bit of a delay. Almost, I don't know if they're going to try and challenge it or, you know, just discuss with the refs, but they're not dropping the puck. So a little bit of an interesting situation we've got going on.
And something to note, too, the strong goalie play on both sides. That was really the first big rebound that we've seen so far for either team. And this time Adrian puts it away.
And again, I think it has a lot to do with that, you know, he got hit in the face and, you know, you again drop. It doesn't seem like there's going to be anything happening, though. Goal's going to stand and puck's going to drop. We're going to continue.
So here we go, 4-1 Adrian. And here they come again. McCloy has brothers on his left. He gets it over Deaking, and he just lost it at the point of attack.
It's a great move he put on there, trying to get a goalie to go one way and go the other. Forehand, backhand is a great move, but the goalie knows how to read those, especially at this level. So I think he almost was ready for that one. And I have to say, I think Lake Forest can kind of take this goal that I don't think they necessarily agree with and almost use it as anger to push themselves to go a little harder. I don't want to say by any means Lake Forest is not, they're trying hard, they're playing great, and they're playing hard, but I feel like there's a little bit left in the tank that they're holding out on, and I think that might prove to be what lets them use that last little bit of effort they've got. And there's still plenty of time in this game with 3 minutes and 50 seconds in the second.
And here they come. There's a shot. Can't quite get it past McNair.
Great attempt, though, right off the slot. D walking into the slot and just trying to take a high one. But defenseman came out, blocked it.
Here comes Matson up the right side. Deking around. Too many red jerseys. Couldn't quite get all the way in onto Corsi. Post tries to poke it clear and does. Goes out to Backnack. Here comes Hewings. Sends in a shot.
I have to say, Adrian definitely all the way down on the gas tonight. Their speed is it's unrealistic almost right now. Lake Forest had three defensemen coming in, and Adrian had two guys. And with the puck, they just strolled past them like it was nothing almost. They're firing all cylinders right now.
We're going to bring it all the way back down as icing was called.
And this is going to prove to be a little bit of an opportunity for Lake Forest right now with the Adrian squad being stuck out for icing.
Puck ricochets around. Finally controlled by Hewins. He turns it over. In the corner is Sedina.
That's another huge aspect of the game, especially in the second period, with the long change. Icings really can cause you to get thrown off of your game, not allow yourself to be able to play to the speed that you want because you're tired. A little bit of rough stuff going on in front of Etma. Nothing big, though, just a little bit of shoving.
So with that, we'll have a face-off. Blocker side of Etma. Matt Thompson and Drew Clearman meet up at the dot. Puck drops. And Adrian controls it. Helms skates around Etma. Sends it up for Paquette.
As this period's gone on, I have to say Lake Forest has improved their face-off play a little bit. Right there, they got tied up for a good second or two. And again, that really could throw off your flow of forwards and everything. So I think that they're getting a little bit better on the face-offs, and that could prove to be something of notice.
Here comes Yim.
Oh,
just
right
barely denied as he hits the post. Brian Yim, not uncommon to see him have multi-goal games. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but we had on HCTV, the network that Adrian College has, we've seen Brian Yim score 4 goals in a single game. Tremendous offensive effort.
That's great. And
it just shows you what he's capable of.
And even though his numbers aren't, particularly staggering this season, I don't think there's any reason to write him off. Through 14 games, he's got 5 goals, 9 points. And I think that, as a junior, that allows him to, it could be a little bit of a slump for him, but I think that's all it is. The way he's skating out there he's got potential. He's getting shots, Definitely one of those players to look out for as the season goes on and we get a little bit closer to playoffs, and could be the difference maker. Not that Adrian needs a difference maker, but.
Adam Krug, tremendous job of recruiting. He brings in guys that have impact right from the get-go. Freshman year, he comes in, and that's one of the roles that Brian Yim had. And now you can see as a junior, one of the leaders on the team, and then he has another year still that he gets with him.
He seems to be one of those players, based off this game that, he's proving he's working to prove his worth for that senior year. I don't know if he wants to shoot for that, C on his jersey, but I think he's definitely got potential there.
Here's Kuzin, one of those freshmen brought in.
But, Coach Krug does, like you said, bring in great freshmen. Perfect example is goalie Nikita Babentsev. He's been, even though he's been, he's a freshman and you obviously have to fight for your position to play, he's been putting up pretty good this season. He's at a .86 save percentage, which is really solid for a freshman walking into an NCAA school like this. So I have to say Adrian doesn't play light opponents. Especially
this year. That was a beautiful save by DeCourcy. That looked like a wide open shot from our angle. We had about the same angle as the shot. And
if he
remarkable save.
If he just lifted that puck, maybe 2 inches, it would have right over the pad and sailed right in. But sometimes whether it's stick work or whatever, you can't get that off.
That'll wrap up period number 2. Adrian College leads 4-1 as we head into the locker room. We'll have third period action coming up soon. We'll be back after this. You're watching Adrian College hockey only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Go for a mouthful, go for the fun.
Oh, go for cake!
Cakes are for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes, and it's go for cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, then reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Coming into the third, as we were talking between the break, this game's only lopsided on the scoreboard. Everything else, very even.
Effort's pretty even. I was talking about face-offs a lot earlier. They're actually, the only team, or Adrian's up 1 face-off right now from Lake Forest. So they've clearly learned a way to patch their little wound there. And like we said, the shots are pretty even. Adrian's kind of starting to run away a little bit with them with 26-20 on the shot clock. But otherwise, it's a pretty even-keel game right now.
Shots on goal, 26-20. I mean, by no means does the score reflect how tight this game has been played.
Yeah, no. I think that, big differences in this game, after everything's said and done is going to be, the accidental defenseman goal and then all the penalties and power plays we've witnessed. I think those are going to be 2 big things come the end of the game. And being the third period, we're back on the easy changes, so we may start seeing a little bit of tiredness impacting these players, but hopefully they can trump it a little bit. So time will tell with that one.
Thompson set up for another face-off. He gets the win. Shot from Kalatarsi blocked away by DeCoury. DeCoury 24 saves on the evening. Entma comes in with 19.
Coming into the third period, I think some Adrian players to look out for. Trevor Boyd, he's got 3 points tonight, along with Corey Dunn and Taylor McCloy. And as usual, Brian Yim has proven to be a very good factor in this game. I think those 4 players are going to be difference makers come the end of the night.
And we have an icing call. That'll bring it all the way back down near Entma. He'll put it to his glove side. Thompson again on the face-off. Forresters control it. Long shot from the blue line from Feldman. That's found its way through, just went wide.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of forwards there, and the defenseman is screens. I think there were about 3 people. And it just, it sailed through. Went to the far right. Oh!
There's one, hits off the post. And just like that, I mean, that kind of, in a nutshell, shows a little bit of how this game's gone.
It's a lot
Tremendous shot.
Yeah.
Game of inches.
It
hits the post. We had the one down here where they got behind Entma. Couldn't get the right angle, went in the corner, and obviously the defensive goal. Just sometimes the puck won't bounce your way.
Yeah. Entma was beat there, and luckily the post was in the way. It was the only thing stopping it. He rushed over, but he just missed it. As a goaltender, Entma's put up a pretty solid night tonight, only giving up 1 goal off of 22 shots. He's been doing really good. Again, like you said, sometimes luck isn't your way. And I think that with a game, with 2 teams as solid and as equally talented as, they are, I think luck is playing a decent amount of factor in tonight's verdict.
Out of the face-off, Kuzin has it in the neutral zone. Gets it to Boyd, who gains the zone, but it looked like we have someone off sides.
Yeah, it looked like one of those just, you skate across the line by accident, and it's a foot, wasn't anything glaring. Again, it's, like you said, a game of inches, and I think that the fact that Lake Forest is putting up, such an effort and, it's such a game of, luck and inches, I think that's huge for them because, with a little bit of a turn, one good shot, 1 goal even, you could totally turn the pace of this game, and it could be a totally different decision. 15 minutes from now, we could see a totally different decision on the scoreboard than it is right now, just because these teams are so close, and I don't think there's a favorite either way.
It'll be interesting when they travel to Lake Forest, and they'll meet again. And if you're Coach Krug and Adrian, when you're a number 4 team in the country, you're going to get everyone's best shot. Everybody wants to take down a top 5 team, any ranked team for that matter. If you're getting national recognition as one of the top teams, everybody's going to give you their best game to try to take you down, be that team that dethrones you. Mm-hmm. And you got to put a lot of respect on these Bulldog players who come in every night basically with a target on their back saying, this is one of the best teams and we're going to beat them. And they face that a lot, and they send away a lot of opponents who try to accomplish that.
And I love the Bulldogs' discipline. They're not at all cocky, with being a number 4 team in the country. They're not at all overconfident with themselves. They walk into every game thinking it's going to be a hard-fought game, and they're willing to work for the W, And a lot of teams, when you start to win, the confidence gets to you. You get a little, arrogant, and it could cost a lot of penalties, a lot of minutes, It could really tamper your game, and the Bulldogs really haven't allowed that to happen. And I don't know about, in the past recent years, but this team is very disciplined. There's been 1 or 2 couple, it happens penalties, but other than that, nothing glaring.
And not that the 3-game losing streak wasn't any impact of cockiness or complacency or anything like that. But that just shows how good this team really is. If you go on a 3-game losing skid, answer it back with 3 more, and you're still number 4 in the country.
Yeah, you must clearly have a little bit of a margin there, and that's something that again, Adrian, year to year when it comes to NCAA, they prove that they have the potential to go deep in terms of playoffs. There's a lot of factors, but it determines good. Seems to be a penalty coming to the Bulldogs for cross-checking to Thompson.
Let's give Adam Krug a little bit of credit on that for the schedule that he puts on his players. Number 1 strength of schedule in the country. I mean, that also has an impact on the fact that they dropped 3. But we'll be back after the break. You're watching Adrian College Hockey only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
And out of that face-off, we're back here on LSN.
You know, timeout, something that could prove to be a game changer, and I really think that very well could be the case. That timeout was very well timed. There's about 14 minutes left in the third period. It was plenty of time, a lot of time, ample time to make some changes, and I think Lake Forest is trying to do that.
Especially when you're on the power play, you're chasing 3 goals here. This could be one of the biggest shifts in the game. I mean, you don't typically see a big shift in a score like this, you know.
And another
with a power play, it's huge.
Big, part of this is, the person who got the penalty, Thompson, he's a great forward when it comes to their draws, their face-offs. So I think that, if Lake Forest keeps the momentum up, grab some whistles, maybe catch them on a bad change or something, without this forward being able to kill, because he's a key forward, without him, you may find yourself with some more opportunities, and that's something that they should look out for. And they're trying to take advantage of. They're moving very fast in the zone, getting pucks in deep. They're not holding out. Seems to be a canceled icing. Puck goes into the stands.
There's 46 seconds left on this Forrester power play.
Goes to show how hard of shots these players have. That puck ripped right through the netting on the guest side. Not to be taken lightly. The Bulldogs are trying to argue a little bit of icing there. Looks like it was waved off last second, I think. But doesn't seem like they're going to get anything. Ref skated over to Coach Krug to have a discussion. It looks like play will continue.
So the conference is over. Face-off glove side of Entma won by the Bulldogs, but they can't clear it. Now they do. Here comes McCoy up the right side. Boyd trying to catch up. Whoa. But Boyd's going to take it on his, McCoy takes it on his own.
That
pulls the trigger, short-handed goal. 35 seconds left in the Matt Thompson penalty.
And I think that was just a pretty goal. There was nothing Lake Forest could have really done. They were caught at the blue line, and McCoy, beat the defenseman, had it caught up in feet, took it, and just ran with it. Made a nice move on the goalie, went right over him. Looked like he pulled it through his legs. It was just a great move, and I think that's really going to deteriorate this Lake Forest momentum they had going on. And again, even though they're still shorthanded, it's going to show them that they don't have to really worry because a shorthanded goal really helps you.
We talked in the beginning how this Adrian team won't just sit back on the penalty kill. They'll go on an attack if they get the opportunity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they just showed it right there. And it's McCloy.
Yeah, that's definitely a dangerous thing you do in a hockey game is, you're shorthanded, you going for the attack, you're down a guy, things could slip up and you could get caught with bad numbers going the other way. But, Adrian's got great coverage and they're very fast, as we've been saying. So I think that was a smart play for them to try and get it in deep, and it worked out to their favor. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this more, throughout the season.
And obviously having a 4-1 cushion kind of
helps.
Also allows you to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were doing it still 0-0. Yep. They had a lot of those penalties in the beginning. And that also shows the trust you have in Entma on the other end, that if you do get stuck in some kind of a situation, he's going to be there and he's not going to make you pay for it.
Yeah, and it looks like, as soon as the puck dropped, Thompson gets out of the box. And perfect example of somebody who doesn't let a penalty get to him. He grabbed the puck and went. He got into their zone, and he's still working hard right out of the box.
Finally, the puck squirts free out of
a little bit of a mess at the board side by the Lake Forest bench.
Here come the Foresters up the right side. Joe Sardino, the lone goal scorer.
Oh, looks like a penalty will be coming up. Both of them looks like for roughing. So we're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey, it looks like. The Lake Forest forward caught a little bit of a hand from the Adrian defenseman and pushed him back. And looks like both of them are going to the box. Nothing you can really do about that. That's Bud Mate taking the Adrian penalty. And Davis DeCourt taking the Lake Forest penalty. Again, nothing you could really do about that. But got some 4-on-4 hockey, so it should be interesting to see how all the spacing works. So far tonight, Adrian's shown that they are pretty good in terms of spacing. And even the way they're lining up for their draws right now, 2 defensemen on the goal side, they're going to try and run with it a little bit.
4-on-4, something you don't really want if you're Lake Forest.
Yeah,
Adrian's been all over the special teams units tonight. Power play, penalty kill, now 4-on-4.
And their numbers, as we mentioned earlier, their numbers for PK were not amazing this season. But they have really shown tonight that they have potential. And, again, as we've been saying, it's a lot about a lucky bounce. And I just think that Adrian, if they keep up the hard work with the PK and the special teams, it's going to work to their favor in due time. Great chance, actually, right in front of their net. I think that if they keep working with this power play unit, it's going to come and it's going to benefit them. And before we know it, this game could be 6-7-1. Stick goes flying out of a poke check.
Now they battle for it on the boards behind DeCourcy.
It's going to be interesting in a couple of minutes' time, depending on how aggressive this coach for Lake Forest is going to get with his goaltender. And that's a great thing because you start early, you can rack them in, but at the same time, you're losing 5-1, so you don't want to wait. Looks like Lake Forest is trying to get a change off. As honestly, the Adrian not even power play, it's 4-on-4. The Adrian team has been out here in their zone almost the entire 2 minutes of this roughing penalty.
Here they come. There's a shot that goes high.
That was the first shot Lake Forest has had in this 4-on-4, and that's almost unbelievable. Goes to show what aggressive spacing and some patience can do you.
Here's Balsamo up the left.
Tried to take it through his legs and caught a stick off a defenseman. And here come the 2 players out of the box. We have some 5-on-5 hockey coming on. Even strength, and I think Lake Forest was kind of hoping for this to come a little sooner than later based on the 4-on-4. But Adrian has some momentum right now, especially, not even with the scoreboard, just in general on the ice, the way they're playing. It's really looking, they're running. And Lake Forest has some good chances here and there, but still they need to figure out some way to break through this momentum.
Adrian typically does a good job closing the door on opponents in the third period.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge, that's something a lot of teams can struggle with, especially when you play at this high strength. You could lose a lot of games in the third period if you aren't careful.
Especially if you go in with a lead, you kind of get comfortable and
let some stuff slide. And they have, for shots in the third period when they're up, they have really good shot numbers. They outshoot their opponents 174 to 113 for overall shots. They score, they have a scoring ratio of 24 to 10 in the third period after leading. And I just think that, that's something that a lot of teams struggle with, especially at a game this high pace. It's not easy to be able to close the door, like you said. A lot of teams will put up a final fight, and Lake Forest is definitely trying that, but they need to find a way to break through. again, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a little interesting to see how aggressive they get with their goalie with 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the third period. If they can get it in the zone and get their best forwards out, maybe change up the lines and pull their goalie, something good could happen, and that might be the game changer. You never know.
Here they come on the right side. Oskoy holding the zone there was Cross. They got in deep, but a lot of traffic in front. As Adrian got the puck out, gets into their zone. Balsamo has it, sends it into the corner.
Looks like Lake Forest's tiredness is getting to them a little bit. They're kind of coasting around the zone a little bit, and that's never a good thing.
Here's Kuzin, leaves it off for Balsamo, looking for his second goal of the night.
There's a great series of a play right in front of the Lake Forest goaltender. Got him knocked down. It looks like Lake Forest is a little bit upset about no interference, which that's the second time this has happened this game, that the goaltender for Lake Forest has been, kind of hit a little bit and nothing coming from it. So kind of interesting to see if the irritation starts to play a factor. Something big to be said here is, as we mentioned earlier, in the coming weeks, Adrian plays St. Norbert, which is probably their most competition they have in the regular conference season. They always seem to have an issue with them, and having this momentum, having a 4-game winning streak off of a 3-game losing streak is going to look great coming into those weeks, and hopefully they can continue. I'm sure the teams they play will give them a run for their money, but if they play like they did tonight, a lot of good things could come their way.
They will go on the road before St. Norbert comes to town. So I'll have to prove what they have as a road team.
And that's a huge, like you were saying earlier, it's, when they play at home, like the Adrian College fans, students, and faculty and such that come to these games, they get the hockey team gets such a support here. And they really, they have a great time winning, and they love playing here. And any opponent that comes in is going to have a hard time. So I think Adrian just needs to keep in mind that, going on a little bit of a road trip is a little bit they're not as comfortable, and could serve to be something to struggle for them.
They'll go all the way out to Wisconsin. They'll play MSOE on the 19th and play Concordia on the 20th. That's after they host Aurora here tomorrow. And then St. Norbert comes to town. There'll be a top 5 matchup as St. Norbert, the #1 team in the country. Adrian College held that position earlier on in the year.
I believe at the beginning, like preseason rankings, I believe that they were neck and neck with each other, and again, that's kind of almost like their rival at this point. They need to find a way to prove their worth, and I think that they have a solid chance to if they keep building off of the play they've had, their last 4 games, and especially tonight.
Just under 6 minutes to play. Puck goes down, called for icing.
Lake Forest icing. And they're not going to be able to get a change. And this is a little bit unfortunate for them. 5:30 in the third period, down 5-1. You catch an icing, you can't get a change off. If the Adrian forwards and defense can start to run a little bit here, they might be able to make it 6-1. So Lake Forest needs to just find a way to get it down, get it deep, and get a change in, and just like that, their goaltender grabs this, gets a save and gets a whistle, and now they can get a change in.
It's going to be a penalty right off the face-off.
Looks like a Lake Forest penalty for tripping. I didn't quite see who he tripped.
Thompson was tripped up.
By Drew Clearman, and right in front of his goaltender, I guess it seems to be. They're going to go down again in their zone.
Could be a little frustration. Those two have met up quite a few times in the face-off circle.
Yeah, Matt Thompson has done a great job in the circle tonight. honestly, all of Adrian's centers have done a pretty solid job. Like I said in the beginning of the game, they were kind of dominating, but Lake Forest really came back and has started to implement different ways, and it's worked for them. I think that the face-offs are pretty indicative of how the game is going in terms of pace, and just because the scoreboard says 5-1 doesn't mean that this game is heavily in Adrian's favor. It's pretty even keel. Just like you said earlier, it's a game of inches, and they come when you work hard enough, they're going to come to you, and sometimes with luck they will too. So I think that's a pretty good factor of what's up with Adrian tonight.
Puck goes down for Entma. He'll hang on to it for a change. Fresh skaters, Corey Dunn behind the net. He has Thompson, Helms, McCloyan brothers. On the power play, makes a move. Gets in deep. He's just going to skate it into the corner. Centering pass for Dunn. Dunn looking for goal number 3. Gets blocked. Looked to be Loisel.
And a perfect example of why I think Adrian's defense is doing great things tonight is, the puck went into their goaltender. They were going into their zone, and there was one person that was a little bit behind a Lake Forest forward, and they could have easily caught up and got a chance of a shorthand, but the Adrian defenseman rushed back and grabbed a hold of the puck, deked around him, and turned it the other way.
That puck goes up into the netting. 9 seconds left.
We got a little bit of a tussle going on inside of the circle to the right of the Lake Forest goaltender. I think it's pretty safe to say that the frustration Lake Forest is having right now with how good they've been playing and how even keel it's been, that it's not really surprising that some roughness is going to start coming out of this game in the last 3 minutes. They've kind of been on the wrong side of the bounces and the penalties tonight, and I think that's something very easy for a player to get irritated about, and it's, hopefully they don't let it get a hold of them and this game doesn't turn too dirty, but
so Thompson with another face-off win.
It looks like we're about to get some even strength hockey here as the Lake Forest forward comes out of the box.
Brothers and McCoy getting 2 good looks on DeCourcy. None of them find the back of the net.
Now that goalie has really shown his worth tonight. He's had some great shots against them and such, and even though the score doesn't show that way, he's done a pretty good job, especially given the current shots, 40-25 in favor of Adrian. They've started to run away with it a little bit. When as a goalie, you start getting shots racked on you, it's really going to have an impact. So I think he's done a pretty solid job. Penalty coming up to the Bulldogs, I believe, to Brian Bashnak.
You were talking about the goalie play of DeCourcy. 36 saves. I mean, you put that night's work in.
Yeah,
that could be a win.
Yep, it really could be if you're playing most teams, but I think that, again, it's just been a result of some bad luck and the wrong side of some bounces and stuff. I think that's really been the determinant of this game, because both teams are really even strength and just, they're both good hockey teams. And we mentioned earlier that Coach Krug's record against this team is undefeated in his 4 years here, but tonight could have definitely went the other way. They're both playing great, and the way they've been playing, they could have, it's very much a contended game, coming into tonight. So I think they've done pretty well, and I think they gave him a run for his money.
There's a big save from Entma. 1:24 left in the power play.
Since we're talking about goalies in the power play, that penalty was given to Lake Forest for goaltender interference.
Brian Yim skates in to take the face-off with O'Neill. O'Neill gets the better of him. Shot deflected. It goes up and high. Another blue line shot redirected in. I believe it caught the stick of Aaron O'Neill, who's in the slot.
It bounced right off the toe of his stick and right over Entma's glove hand. That's unusual, as we've said many times tonight. His glove hand is very powerful. He's great with it. So I think, again, that's a perfect example of a little bit of luck. And that's going to even up the game a little bit, make it 5-5, or 5-on-5, my apologies, and the score 5-2. There's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds, plenty of time when it comes to a hockey game. I think that, if Lake Forest can somehow catch this momentum they're a little bit getting and kind of build off of it, might be a little bit more of a contended game.
And that's a huge play. The power play hasn't seen much success tonight for Lake Forest. To find the back of the net there, for them to come back and win, not very likely. I won't say impossible, that I just won't do it. But to have it go, that's a bit of confidence going into the next game.
And even if
you tighten up the score a little bit, clean it up.
Even if Lake Forest does lose this game, and they don't come back, making it, getting points in still counts. It makes it a little more respectable. And going into your next game, it makes it seem, well, these guys, they didn't give up, and that's a huge part of a hockey game is, whether you give up or not. And I definitely don't think either, especially Lake Forest, I don't think they're giving up tonight. They're still skating fast and getting shots off and working hard. A
lot of positives to take out of this. I mean, played the number 4 team in the country pretty tight.
Yeah, and even though the scoreboard doesn't show it and the shots are running away a little bit, you played really good for 2 periods. 40 minutes against the number 4 team in the country is a feat that a lot of people can't say they did. Adrian tends to run their score up a little bit into the double digits, and tonight that wasn't the case. They got to run for their money, I think.
Adrian tries a redirection of their own. Can't get it to go. 1.5 to play here at Arrington Ice Arena. Boyd chips it down into the zone. He will go off. Vincent Paquette will come on.
I like that Adrian hasn't gotten too comfortable and let the game slide a little bit out of control, because sometimes when you're winning by a margin, you get too comfortable, game could change, things get sloppy. It could have happened, and I'm very happy to say that it didn't tonight. Again, both teams are very even keel. Get a hard hit on the right side of the Lake Forest goaltender. Looks like we had a deep pass right back to Dunn, passing it up to the boards. It seems to slide past Paquette's stick and goes into the Lake Forest zone with 24 seconds remaining in the 3rd period.
Here they come, left side, the Foresters tripped up.
Stick goes flying as a little bit of a hit happens.
Can't quite get a shot off on Entma. Dunn tries to clear the zone, sends it a touch too high into the netting. 6.6 seconds left in the game. We'll have time for a face-off.
And maybe a shot, but
not much more after that.
Yeah, I have to say it's been a very good game on both ends. And even though Adrian has come out on top tonight, I think that Lake Forest definitely has gained momentum as the night's gone on. And whoever they play next as they go forward, I think they really have potential. They can make that a game. And it seems we're going to get another face-off as they drag it back to the blue line and get a clapper off.
So the puck will drop one more time here at Arrington Ice Arena as we see Adrian College take a 5-2 win. We remind you to stay tuned for the post-game show, as we will catch up with Coach Adam Krug for the Bulldogs along with the first star of the game. So we will be back after the break. You're watching Adrian College Hockey only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
And we're out. You got plans?
You bet.
$50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me.
What's going on?
Dinner. Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna get the plates.
Plates?
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome to the LSN postgame show. I'm down here with Adrian College head coach Adam Krug. Coach Krug, you guys now extended that win streak to 4 games after taking down Lake Forest 5-2. What are your thoughts after this game?
Well, it wasn't pretty, and it's not always perfect. We understand that. You just have to essentially go with the ebbs and flows of a game and figure out a way to win, and we did that. So, hats off to the guys for getting it done. But, I thought after the first period we hadn't played a very good game to that point, or a good first period, and we didn't really have the start we wanted. But you know what? We figured out ways to score goals, even if we got a little bit lucky and got some help from them. So you'll take that anytime. But we got to be better for a full 60 minutes if we're going to continue to press for a national championship. But you know what? It's one game out of a bunch, and we got to learn from today and get better.
And we talked in the pregame about Emma and how strong he's been. Talk about the game he had tonight.
Well, Kevin was really good again, just really solid. He sees pucks, he finds them through screens. He ends plays is probably the biggest thing he's been doing. If we get stuck in our zone, he finds a way to gobble it up and hold on for a whistle.
And then Corey Dunn managed to find the back of the net twice tonight. Talk about the game that he had tonight, when his role that he played.
Yeah, Corey's always one of our best players, just so consistent all the time, and he's always on the score sheet, usually for assists, but for him to score a goal tonight in the first period and get a second one, one that he'll take, again, that was the lucky one they put in the net for us. For him to get in the goal column probably felt pretty good, and he's, the good thing is about Corey, he's not going to change his game. He's still going to defend hard. He's going to play hard. He's going to move the puck. He's going to basically be an assist kind of guy. And when the goals come, you always welcome it. So, happy for Corey, and I'm sure he's certainly thrilled too.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the win. It was a great game to watch. Thank you for your time. We truly appreciate it. We'll be back after the break. Nick will be here with the first star of the game, Corey Dunn.
Huntington.
Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, where's that bear? Got your personal references, high school diploma or equivalent?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
It's right there.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to the post-game show. I'm here with number 1 star of the game, Adrian College, Corey Dunn. Dunn, how did you think you played tonight?
I thought I played pretty good. Just tried keeping things simple. Luckily for me, I got the monkey off my back, got my first goal and second goal of the year. So that's always nice. But that's always a plus, just trying to do the little things right, doing what I can do to help my team win.
Yeah, we understand, it's pretty hard to get that momentum going once you have had a while that you haven't scored or anything. So is there any secrets you've done tonight to do that?
No, just stay confident. Don't get down on yourself. I was even telling myself before the game I was going to get one. I don't care how dirty or how big of a garbage goal it's going to be. I just wanted to get that first one, and it went my way tonight.
Yep, well, you got 2, so you did your job. A couple weeks you play St. Norbert. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. We're on a 4-game win streak now. The past couple times we played Norbert, we've lost, so we definitely owe those guys.
All right, well, it was great talking to you. Congratulations on the number one star of the game.
Thank you.
Good luck playing Norbert.
All right, thank you.
For the entire Lenawee Sports crew, I'm Nick Rizzo saying thank you for watching this evening. The Bulldogs win it tonight, being the Forresters by a final score of 5-2.
In our next broadcast, Lenawee Sports will be back on the hardwood in the land of the Indians as the boys of Tecumseh welcome their arch rivals, the Adrian Maples, in a Southeastern Conference matchup. Want to see if we're coming to your town? Get connected with the LISD TV on our Facebook and Twitter for LSN's broadcast schedule. Also, check us out on YouTube and subscribe to LISD TV's channel for our other game broadcasts. This has been a presentation of LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Davis bounced it off his head, and I don't think that was an accident.
You've got a tie atop the LCAA standings. Count that baby in a foul. The first time they've been there in 61 years. Morency is going to the President's Center.
And I think this is pretty much over.
Blissfield Royals, district champions.